So here are things that men need to keep an eye out for while they're dating, no matter what the size of your wallet or your fantasies or desires. Disregard these things at your hazard in light of the fact that very much like all the great men of antiquity, the Holy Book and in the past, a lady can either help, but frequently, a terrible lady can toss a man totally into tumult. Number 1, she needs to be courted. Okay, she needs to be sought. I know there are some guys are probably thinking, hello, you sort of talk like a traditional man. What's it with her needing to be sought? Nothing in the event that she's genuinely a customary lady. But normally, ladies need to be sought on the grounds that they need every one of the advantages of traditional gentility and gender roles, yet they offer no part of that stuff of real value. This is simply one more approach to asking you to simp. Not many westernized ladies deserve to be courted. I say it once more, not very many westernized ladies deserve to be courted. You women battled for equality, you're my equal, you needed equivalent compensation, you needed equivalent rights. Well, you need to get equivalent lefts. You desire to be courted. That won't happen. We are equals, manage it. Thank feminists one-on-one, your mothers and your grandmoms. This is the world. Women, assuming you're watching, comprehend. This is what men are watching out for, so assuming you're requesting that some person court you, what are you offering that might be of some value other than intercourse and debt? Number 2, she has a 90-day rule or any sort of rule like this as we would see it. Whenever I first hear a lady say she has a 90-day rule, I'm out. Whenever I first hear a lady discuss this standard or some other sort of decide that way, I'm out. Very much like the US had a policy, we don't negotiate with terrorists. Ladies can be emotional terrorists. I don't haggle with them because in such a case, that you give a mouse a cookie, it'll request for a glass of milk. In the event that she has a 90-day rule, that consequently suggests to me that she thinks her vagina is gold, something so critical that I need to work, endeavor, and procure for. I don't work that hard for anything that doesn't help me. Her vagina ain't it because supposing that you have these 90-day rules, go out and fault every one of these Steve Harvey type folks who told you this foolishness. That is man repellent rule on the very first day. In the other 89 days, it'll be you playing with your feline without anyone else. Number 3, she's a single parent. I won't boycott single parents or any such thing, but the primary concern is there used to be a point at which a lady had a child outside of a stable family structure. It was rare. There was some disgrace that accompanied it enough to where they didn't continue onward out and doing it again and again. Today, it's a praiseworthy symbol. You as a man are worth to an extreme and excessively significant. In the event that you have your head on straight, you're out doing your thing, working your business, dealing with your business, you ought not be compelled to pick from a pool of ladies who've previously had another man's kids. You should not have to go out, battle the world, form such, etc. Number 4, she's a strong independent fill in the blank woman. You have 3 times to say that I'm strong independent blank woman. I'm a strong independent blank woman. I'm a strong independent. Check please, I'm gone. Whenever that emerges from their mouth, non-debatable in the sentence, whether it's day 1 or day 300 on the grounds, that is a basic issue that is standing by to burst through. A woman who needs to say I'm a strong independent anything is none of the things she says. It's very much like when you end up going into your home saying I'm the man of this house. In the event that you need to say you're the man in charge, there's an issue. In the event that you watch Game of Thrones, when Joffrey says, I'm the king in Tywin, tells him any man who needs to say he's the ruler isn't the ruler. Strong independent blank anything needs to be strong independent and alone. Number 5, she accepts that people are equal. We are not equal. No male and female of any species in the world are equal. We are different, as it should be. I won't negotiate your role in my role. If you come into this platitude that we're equal, we're consequently in constant conflict, since you're not a lady as I would see it. You're a female. I don't date females, I date ladies. Very much like the men will hear what I'm talking about. If you meet a lady that you're equal to, you're truly surrendering your masculinity, and I can't help you. For the folks out there who are attempting to hear me, equality is not what it's cracked up to be. Regularly, ladies want equality when it benefits them, and they need to be women when it suits them. I lack the capacity to deal with all the back and forth ways because I'm attempting to do what I'm doing. I'm guiding, she will follow. There can't be 2 commanders, pick your poison. If you pick equity, you'll die in some horrible, nightmarish way. Number 6, she's a hotshot church young lady. I'm a Christian, I was brought up in the congregation. I go to routinely, yet big-time church young ladies will quite often accompany big-time church issues. There's no more fraud in dating than in the church on the grounds that unless she's a big deal church young lady and a virgin, you're as of now going to have issues. As a rule, big-time church young ladies attempt to involve the holy book as a weapon against the men that they date. To consider you scripturally responsible for all that says a man ought to be, however, yet not consider themselves scripturally, ethically, or morally responsible to whatever that it says a lady ought to be. They will generally take sacred writings wrong, utilize scriptural stories for their own narrow-minded and manipulative finishes, and hit you in a spot to where you truly can't protect your otherworldliness. That is the level of manipulative, tricky, terrible way of behaving. Number 7. She has heaps of single girlfriends. You ever seen a bunch of creatures meandering an area? There's consistently a leading creature and the ones that follow. It's all a bad situation. It's a game. Single ladies who spend time with other single ladies lounge around and discuss single lady stuff, and it's regularly a great deal about men slamming on the grounds that, very much like most ladies, whenever they break up, it's never their shortcoming. They never take responsibility. Everybody they said a final farewell to is a jerk. So assuming you begin dating this lady who's spending time with a ton of single young ladies, she will return to her companions and all that happens great here, you will get sabotaged. Number 8. She comes from a long queue of single parents, aunties, and cousins. My ex-wife hit this to the mole. I loved that lady, she was fine as frog's hair. However, when I went to her family, 13 of the most gorgeous ladies I have found in one family. 11 of them were single, and I had to know why. Because they all had that same strong, independent blank woman straight. They'd all had that quintessential attitude. Dysfunctional group of harpies at any point I met them. Decent enough individuals when you meet them one-on-one, yet assuming that you have a long queue of single parents, aunties, and cousins, you have generational curses, issues, and things in that family. It will raise its head eventually, and you would rather not be near. One way or another, the drawback is this lady regularly has great sex game. In this way, think with your huge head, not with your little one. Take a gander at the chips on the board and change in like manner. Don't allow yourself to get sucked in. In conclusion, she has a past filled with broken relationships, particularly on the off chance that she's an 8, 9, or 10. For 8s, 9s, and 10s, all of their exes were all jerks in a holes. I've never at any point met a lady who's forthright about their relationships previously and said, you know what, I screwed up, I undermined him, I did this, such etc. It's continuously something was the matter with each guy from secondary school to college to lifetime. From lifetime to college to secondary school to middle school to rudimentary, each and every boyfriend or guy they've dated along the line, there was always something wrong with the men. Folks, move away from this briefly. Ask yourself, the main shared factor in every last bit of her relationships was her. In the event that there's dependably or some kind of problem with everybody, and it's not her, it's going to be you in a minute. Keep away from this sort of ladies no matter what, because all she knows is the means by which to separate. All she knows is generally how to be in a useless relationship. You won't come in and fix her. You won't come in and save her. Save yourself. Keep away from her front and center.